What's up? How you guys doing? Average. How you guys doing? All right, we're going to hang out today. So, a year ago, here's what I said. I said there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a train. The train has arrived. And all the real estate gurus out there were talking about, oh, it's going to continue on, because they're full of shit, and they're trying to sell you shit. Anyone tired of the bullshit in the real estate industry and you want the truth? Who wants the truth? Who wants the truth? And you want to know why I bring it straight? Because the consumer wants the truth. If you go back, see, I'm the oldest cat in this room. I'm 56 years old, okay? And I started door knocking, cold calling, expired FSBO. So by the way, you're not going to get a whole bunch of theory from me. I raised children on a real estate transaction, okay? I've been able to go through this amazing thing called life on a real estate transaction. You know what? What's very, very interesting, and I hope a couple of things. I'm going to give you strategies and tactics, but I'm going to tell you this, you guys. Life is a personal development program with a get paid plan attached to it. Most of us have it backwards. It's very interesting and probably not shocking that Brittany is my fiance. Because I'm a damn good salesman, right? I outkicked the coverage there, didn't I? It's like, you got to be excited if I can land her. But I want you to pay really, really close attention. And some of you might be sitting here too saying, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, because here's one of the things that I do. I work with the best in the world. You can go across all the franchises, and I coach the number ones, number twos, number threes in the world. I coach 8 of the top 10 in the world. Oh, so this is a John is wonderful story? No. It's so that you hold on to everything I share with you. I'm going to come from my heart, but I'm going to come from what my heart has experienced already. I landed here the night before last night so I could be in my hotel room and knock out 20 coaching calls with the highest performers throughout North America. And here's what's really, really cool. And you need to write down. You may hear some quotes from me that you need to take back, okay? Because, see, a strategy or a tactic isn't going to work over time. It may work in current space and time, but things change, don't they? That's the interactive part. I ask a question, you give an answer. That's the interactive part. You got it? Okay, things change, don't they? Yes. Here's what does not change. It's called principle. So let me take you back to the basics. You know that bullshit line they tell you, what got you here won't get you there? Well, let me tell you a little story about discipline. Let me tell you a little story about commitment. Let me tell you a little story about consistency. Because you've got the scripts and you've got the dialogues and you've got the secret squirrel objection handler. Let me tell you the trick that I do on a listing presentation. But you know what the problem is or the breakdown is? Do you do it over and over and over and over again? Raise your hand if you want to get paid like a pro athlete. Who wants to get paid like a pro athlete? Keep your hand up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on. Keep it up if your behavior mirrors on a daily basis the activities and practices of a pro athlete. Put your hand up high. Awesome. I'm done. I can go home. Get my flight. If you can do, you guys, simple solves the complex. Write this down. The growth of your business is inside your business. It's not outside of your business. The growth of your business is inside your business. It's not outside of your business. If you want to change your outer world, you got to change your inner world. Well, I've heard the quotes before. Great. Tell me how you're applying it. Let me tell you about your little outer world right now. It's a shit show, and it's going to get worse. They've been pumping money into the economy. Man, there ain't no money. People struggling. Let's do this. I'm a little intense, but you know what? You'll learn that I'm pretty soft, okay? Who's a little bit afraid? Raise your hand. 20 honest people. Because if I went and looked at your bank accounts and I looked at your pending escrows and I looked at your listing and I looked in your CRMs and I looked at how many times you've contacted your people and I know what it takes today to close transactions, get scared. But fear is a healthy thing. Fear is a healthy thing. And I didn't come here to scare you. come with shock value. I came here to bring you the truth because yesterday in those 20 coaching calls throughout North America, I do about 80 to 90 a week. I'm hearing current space and time, what you're going through. And you know what? I don't get paid just to talk to people. I get paid to bring solution. Raise your hand if you want a solution, okay? So here's another thing that I want you to listen to and listen to it closely because everything I say is absolutely true if you take action on it. You're in the most opportune time in the history of mankind. I was in the Bay Area in the .com, .bomb era. Let me tell you about that. A GM of a 100-office company, okay? One year there were 19 Super Bowl ads that were .com companies. The next year there were 2. And we had to go across the board and cut budgets. Across the board, 100 offices. That was really fun. It was really fun. Now, stay with me, and here's the thing that I want you guys to look at. You may say, well, how's that relate to me? There's probably some business. You're all business owners if you choose to approach it like a business, okay? But you got team leaders. You got broker managers in here. You've got agents, right? I'm going to tell you this, okay? Look at it as a business. See, expense reduction, though, did not mean increased revenue. Well, what does equal increased revenue? Activity. Activity. And you're going to have to double down. See, what I've learned in high performance, and I'm striving for high performance every single day, I'm on a journey right alongside y'all. Okay, my journey stops, okay, when I fall over. And what I know, it is 90% activity and 10% skills. I was with the Bradley team earlier this morning, and I said, you know, I could put someone over on this side, and they can have the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious script. The best salespeople on the planet. And that sucker can say, I'm going to make 10 calls, and I'm going to crush all 10 of them in a week. 10. And I'll take the douchebag over here that, you know, doesn't even know how to speak appropriately, okay, with poor grammar, bad manners like me, that is ruthlessly committed. Because here's what's going to go down. My consistent, imperfect action will smoke your lack of action. And so Brittany talked about this thing called fear, right? And here's the thing. Raise your hand if you're a perfectionist. Raise your hand. Come on. And it slows you down a little bit. Up high, no alligator arms. You know what happens? I come out intense, and so then they start going, okay, I'm not talking to this dude. Raise your hand if you're a perfectionist. I'm going to help you right now. Raise your hand, okay? And it slows you down, and you wait and don't get things done in time. Back up there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You're a big fat liar because a perfectionist would get shit done. Think about the lies you tell yourself. Right? Brittany was touching on this one too, and you really need to do this. Here's your first homework assignment. Y'all think you got, raise your hand, time management. Who's got time management issues? See, I'm not a teacher. I'm a consciousness creator. It's what I've done with high performers. Because you know something? You all got the answers. You've just got to self-discover it and pull it forward. And when you can self-discover it and pull it forward, the likelihood of you taking action on it goes through the roof. Me telling you, the likelihood, you know, it goes down a little bit, okay? So, y'all got time management issues, right? Okay? You got choice management issues. You're making shitty choices. Let me tell you something. You know what? Disciplined people, and write it down and look at it. Look at it every single morning, okay? Disciplined people make smart decisions. Undisciplined people make stupid decisions. And I want you to write this down, and I want you to say this to myself. You know something? I'm going to reflect. See, how many of you at the end of the day take a personal inventory and you say, okay, let's reflect on the day without judgment. Without judgment. Okay? And where did I show discipline and where did I not show discipline? Or are you operating unconsciously? Where did I show discipline and where did I not show discipline? And then you know what? That's the last thing you need to look at, because here's the thing that's a mistake too. Stop planning your day the morning you wake up and reacting to it. Plan your day and see it happen before that day starts the next day. Like I saw some hands go up with calendars. Let me tell you how important a calendar is to me because it's my visualization. I have it on my laptop, I have it on my cell phone, and I print it out all the time. And I review it every single day, and I see it before it happens. Visualization is a very, very real thing. Here's your homework. I'm going to do a quick little bit of math here, and I think 24 times 7 is 168. Is that correct? So I want you to write down 168 hours, okay? And I'm going to help you out here just a little bit to get you going, but then you can do this when you all get home, all right? Let's start with this one. Go with how many hours you sleep a night times 7. You guys, this is high performance. I came here to have a dude freaking do math on my time. Yeah, because your time is all jacked up, man. Okay? And it's killing your dreams, hopes, and desires. Okay? So you've got that number. Subtract that from, what was that number, 168? Was it 168? Okay? Subtract that number. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home, and whether you are on a team, you are with a brokerage, or you're a leader, and you've got a coach, or you've got a mentor, okay? And here's what I know. I know fast action takers, okay, are the ones that win every single time. The ones that dive in. So you got to get your arms around where your time and your choices are, okay? And so I want you to take a look at it. Listen, if you have a time issue right now, turn off your TV. If you have a time issue and you're not experiencing your dreams, hopes, and desires, stop going to happy hour. Now, I'm not saying you got to have a six-pack and a nice ass, but listen, you know, if you want to be a little bit healthier, what I might do is just drink one less. Now, I happen to be, I wish I knew how, I don't know how to drink, exemplified by the fact I've been sober 14 years, okay? But here's what I know in that path. Like if you want more, guess what? You need to say no. Everything you're saying yes to is causing you to say no in another area. Are you guys with me on that one? So you've heard the quotes of, you know, less is more. You've heard the quotes of minimize to maximize. You need to minimize all of the distractions taking place. Why don't you do an inventory? Y'all got it on your cell phone. You need to do an inventory of how much time you're scrolling, and it would blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. I'm telling you something. Agents that make about $100,000 to $150,000 a year are part-time agents in my eye. Whoa, he's kind of an ass. Well, watch this. How many of you, let me give you a part-time day. How many of you every single day, 5 days a week, spend 1 hour uninterrupted, either outbound activity, cold call, door knock, FSBO, expired, or 1 hour calling past clients, or 1 hour a day calling into your database, the leads that have come in? Who is doing that 1 hour a day, 5 days a week? Hands up high, come on. You guys, this is how exciting the opportunity is. You're shooting past the target. 1 hour a day. Well, I'm busy. I'm talking to some people. What you doing? Working on my deal. I mean, you guys, part-time. I'm going to share with you, and listen, you know what? I'm not an endorser of a team, of a brokerage, of anything. You know what I am endorser of people that take massive action and find the environment that works best for them. But let me tell you some stories, okay? I've got people on teams that sell 100 homes a year. I've got team agents outselling badass individual agents, and I'm not poo-pooing on you. But you want to know? Anyone want to know the secret why? Well, they're getting a ton of leads. Listen, do you know the problem? It's very interesting. I'll share with you guys a dynamic because I want you to understand. You know, broker owner managers will say to me, "Well, it's different leading individual agents." I said, "Really?" "Yep." I said, oh, you don't think a broker, owner, manager, or a team leader is pulling their hair out every day trying to get an agent to take action to follow up? Whether it's going out and prospecting for new business or it's going out to the business handed to them. You guys, here's what and thank you for playing and being honest. Do you know that 1 hour a day of outbound activity, whether it's call, email, text, video, to the leads in your database, okay? Or 1 hour of cold calling, door knocking, expired. Do you know it wouldn't just increase your income, it would change your fucking life. Sorry I had to say it. Because it's the truth. It is the truth. See, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to really think of, not for me, it's for you. I want you to think of what is the one reason that I am not doing that 1 hour activity that could change my life. What is it? I'm going to help you, okay? So, before I get into, and I'm going to take you on a little journey. Y'all want to hear how, and I'm going to break it down. We talked about it. It was really fortunate, and thank you, Briley team. Just a privilege to be out here. Yeah, I come out here intense, but you want to know what? I come out here with humility. It is a privilege every time that I get to share. You know, my daughter's 30 years old. You can imagine, if you see my intensity, she's got every bit of me, and that's really, really good. And she's got every bit of me, and that's really, really bad. And she says to me, they actually pay you to listen to you, and they listen to you? I said, well, of course. She says, well, I don't listen to you. I said, well, that's a whole new deal. So here's what I want you guys to do, is just listen really close. I'm going to give you a very simple blueprint. And the things that you're hearing, I mean, how much of this stuff have you heard before? Raise your hand. Yeah. I get paid a shit ton of money to tell you what you already know. Isn't it a cool deal I got? A lot. Okay? And so you're going to get those bits and pieces because, see, you don't need to learn more. You need to be reminded more. You don't need to learn more. You need to be reminded more. Stop shooting past the target. Stop saying, yeah, but, or what else. Remove those things from your vocabulary. See, you're all trying to go wide, okay, but you need to go deep. I'm going to give you, okay, I'll give you a blueprint before we go, exactly the steps to take, okay, from my client who has gone from 1.2 to 3.6 to $6 million earned in 19, 20, it's actually 20, 21, 22, we're pacing to 6 million. Like, do the math on that. See, not a lot of people are doubling their business right now. It's not really common. What I'm finding across the board, okay, that means, you know, there's averages and stuff. What I'm finding is a lot of people are trying to hold their own, okay, and feel good about holding their own in the changing marketplace. I'm going to give you all that. But see, it's all for naught. See, here's the beautiful thing. Here's what I discovered. And you're raising your hand and thank you and saying that, you know what, for 1 hour a day, you're not doing your job. I'm going to ask one more question, okay? A couple more, and we're going to unpack it, and I'm going to get you to do it, okay? So, who believes that video is the number one most powerful marketing vehicle you have right now? Who believes in video? Okay? So those that didn't raise their hand, you're just scared shitless. That's okay. You don't want to admit it. You know it is. Okay? Put your hand up right now if you are launching out a video at least once a week across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and your email list. Once a week. So hands up high. It's like are these alligator or kangaroo arms? Which one are they? Okay? Like, you do it or you don't. Do you do it? Raise your hand. Okay? You guys, like 10 people. 10 people. Okay? If you prospect 1 hour a day the right way, and I'll break some of that stuff down for you, but if you follow this marketing program that I give you, you will absolutely win 100%. But here's the piece that's missing, okay? And here's why you watch too much damn TV, or why you drink too much, or why you don't this. And by the way, this isn't the John is perfect. Just ask Brittany. It was a lot of work when she took me on. She had 2 daughters. Now she has 2 sons in one, just me. It's a lot of work being with me, okay? I'm going to tell you what's missing, okay? You lack purpose. You lack a mission. I want you to write down right now, what is your purpose? What is your absolute purpose, and what is your mission? And I'm going to take you through these foundational pieces. And some of you go, oh, I read the book on having values, and I read the book on having a mission. That's the difference between you and me. That's why I make millions and millions of dollars every year, because I read the book and I took action on it. And that's the difference between everyone else that does that. Now watch this too, as I talk to that. By the way, whatever you make, that's your race. That is your race. My race is that money is a vehicle for me to extend a message of change until the day I fall over. See, there's the other question. Do you have an internalized part of you every day that you show up, when you get on an airplane, when you show up in this room, an absolute crystal clear purpose, so that all the stuff that sucks, it's autopilot because your heart's connected to it, and nothing will get in the way of the heart. See, nothing will get in the way of a man or a woman on a mission. Everything will get in the way of a man or a woman that thinks about what they sort of want to do, but if it gets uncomfortable, I ain't doing that. So, number 1, mission. Write this down. Mission, values, principles. Mission, values, principles. I'm going to tell you how amazing it is. And see, watch this. Why are you comparing my business to yours? Because I do the same thing you do. Raise your hand if you recruit buyers and sellers every day. Raise your hand if you recruit buyers and sellers every day. You are all in the enrollment business. I am in the enrollment business. Okay? And so these principles are universal. There's things that I have to do that are very, very uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you what, your dreams, hopes, and desires are on the other side of everything that's uncomfortable. Your dreams, hopes, and desires are on the other side of everything that's very, very uncomfortable. Like putting this sucker on freaking selfie mode and hitting that red button and recording a video. Raise your hand if that's uncomfortable. Raise your hand. It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's what I really want you to think about with this thing. Okay? Is that's getting in the way of all the promises you've made to your parents and what you're going to do to help them. To your children and the promises and the things you want to do for them. To your significant other that you want to impact and have them be really, really proud of you. See, the heart chooses, the mind justifies. Write it down. The heart chooses, the mind justifies. Your brain is telling you that it's logical to do it. And I hope this really connects and resonates with you. Your brain tells you, okay, but it also tells you not to. Your heart will make you do it. You've got to bridge the gap from your head to your heart. But guess what? Unless it is so crystal, like I am on a mission. I'm on a mission because of the many people that have impacted my life, my ability to break through, what was an addiction. Yeah, I was super, super talented, and did well, but my life was a series of misadventures. And I sat and I reflected and looked at it all and said, what is my crystal clear mission? And it is to serve, lead, inspire people that want to have a positive life experience as a result of real estate business. And when something uncomfortable comes up, I go back to that because that's the law. When I wake up with self-doubt, when I have that one person on a post that has 1,000 likes and says I'm amazing, and one person jumps in and says, you are an absolute tool, and it can throw any of us off. For a moment, for most people, it paralyzes them because they're not clear on the mission. So I want you to write this down. What is my mission? What is your mission? And I don't need to know it today. You need to know what it is, okay? Mine is to, and I'm going to take you through this exercise. Because here's what happens. Now what happens when I don't have to make, you will never have to make another tough decision in your life when you have a mission and when you have values and you have principles. Like that tough decision, am I going to make calls for an hour or not? I go back to the vision, I go back to the mission and the principles. They decide, I don't. You know the tough decision? See, what I do in getting people to do big things, and your big thing may be going from 50 grand to 100 grand. No problem. I've just got to move some little impediments out of the way. You may want to go to from 100 million to 500 million. No problem. I just got to come in there and move a couple impediments out of the way, right? But once I have those principles and those values and that mission in place, I have one tough decision. Am I going to choose to live by them or not? It's not a whether I'm going to do it or not. It is absolute. It is non-negotiable. Write this down. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop negotiating with yourself. Make a commitment and keep it. Make a commitment and keep it. So let's come back to that mission. Mine is serve, lead, inspire people that want to have a positive life experience as a result of the real estate industry. For me, mission being really complicated, I'm an uneducated guy, so I don't have some big college definition for you. Here's what it is, okay? It's forward movement that has an impact with the greater good in mind. It is forward movement that has an impact with the greater good in mind. It has to do with serving. It has to do with contribution. It has to do with times of volunteerism, okay? Now, let's go to values. And think about this. See, can you articulate to the consumer what the experience is going to be? But then over time, you have so many experiences you create that your Google 5-star reviews start stacking up. And when you read the Google 5-star reviews, they mirror your values and your principles. What I have to do to be able to work with high performers, I have to go sit in rooms I don't belong in. I was in a mastermind 4 weeks ago, and we had guys in that room that did $500 million exits. We were with advertising guys that will not take you on unless you spend $500,000 a month. Adam came with me. He saw it. He heard it. Okay? And you know what was interesting? So this gentleman ran an ad campaign for a presidential campaign, and those are just the most brutal bloodbaths on the planet. But he was chosen because of his competency in the marketing arena. And here's what he said. The first thing that he said was this. He says, stop. If you want more conversions, stop going for conversions and go for more reviews. If you want more conversions, stop going for conversions. He turned conversion ads off in an organization and put that money towards being in contact with people that are connected to that organization, people that had an interaction, people that had maybe come in the store and didn't even buy anything, and they were getting reviews on the experience. The business went through the roof. See, here's the thing. You're being hit today by 10,000 ads a day. You didn't know that. This guy's got the statistical data. You're being hit by 10,000 ads a day. So watch this. How important is it for you to pierce through the noise and fight with the 10,000 ads? Well, there's not that many agents. Well, let me help you out, ladies and gentlemen. This is why, strategically, you've got to have the foundation of principles. Listen, ABC, XYZ, Elemental P Real Estate is not your competition. Amazon is your competition on that toothbrush that I ordered and I want in my hotel at 5 p.m. tonight. You're battling the expectation of today's internet-empowered consumer. How many people are Uber Eats, Amazon? I mean, look at all these on. How are your expectations? Like, you want it now and you want good service. What's that have to do with real estate? everything, because if the expectation of communication, of follow through, and consistency is with a low ticket item, imagine what it is for a real estate transaction. And you know the number one thing the consumer wants? Communication. And they say we suck at it. They say we're horrible. Horrible. Let me help you with communication. I want you to work on your skills, your language patterns and things like that. But listen, the person that may not say the right thing but comes with a good heart and just talks to someone consistently will outperform the person that does it inconsistently perfect. Because you want to know what's happening? There's the words you say, but there's the experience people have of you. Write it down. There's the words you say, and there's the experience people have of you. Your words may not be perfect, but you want to know it. Anyone here, when you were new, someone picked you over another agent? And if you go back to early on in your career, you know, you were just this hound dog. Just, I know you're new, and that's okay. We had a lot of experienced people, but you want to know what? You just keep showing up. You just keep following up. Ladies and gentlemen, people will hire consistency over skills. People will hire consistency because you want to know what they're hiring? They're hiring an expectation of an experience. So what I want you to do when you're doing that work, when you're making your follow-up calls, you know, I want you to attach to center yourself and show up and say the right thing and ask the right questions. But I want you to hold on to this is every time you talk to them, you're making a micro commitment to them. Every time that they interact with you, they're making a micro commitment to you. And what happens is that series of micro commitments over time, whether it's someone that's going to sell in the future, or whether it's someone that came in that's a lead that you're following up with, each one of those interactions of them consuming your content, an email, a text message, a video, is a micro commitment. And you know how you do something really, really big? By keeping a series of micro commitments. Y'all with me on that? Values, write them down. I'm going to tell you mine. Steal them. My values are not John's perfect. No, I need values because I'm imperfect. But I have something to bring me back to that true north. I know the experience that I want to have. I know the experience that I want people to have as they interact with me. That's what values are to me. What is the experience that I want to have with you in the work that I do, in the life that I live? Okay? What is the experience that I want you to have with me? Here are mine. Fun, love, and steal them. Fun, love. Guys, you heard the love one? Yep, you might have to pull your wallet out and throw away your man card. Okay? You'll be okay. Because the number one skill set, men in the room, that you guys need to get is called empathy. Period. There's some men in this room, and I don't know y'all, but I will guarantee you, if you capture that one piece of empathy, it will change the game. Okay? Fun, love, dignity, respect, humility, vulnerability, transparency, volunteerism. Fun, love. Isn't it interesting? I have no PowerPoint, and there's a reason for it, because what I want you to know and I want you to see is this, is it's internalized in me. And until you get it internalized in you, you will not be consistent. And my significant others in the back of the room will tell you, you know what? He zigs and he zags. But when he zigs and he zags, he'll come back to those things and he'll share, you know what? I'm off here. I'm off there. But I've got a guide. Do you have a guide for you and the experience you want to have? Or are you going through this thing unconsciously? Do you have a guide for the consumer? Fun, love, dignity, respect, humility, vulnerability, transparency, volunteerism. Let me ask you this. If the consumer experiences that with you in their interactions, are you going to do okay? Yes or no? Okay, one more time. Yes or no? 100%. Okay? Here's the big one. So those values go to how it feels. And I use values as the foundation really of it because the heart chooses, the mind justifies. Like buyers, listen, if you're going to go buy an apartment building or a commercial building on cash flow, yeah, that's a logical based decision. Are buyers making logical decisions on buying a home, or are they making an emotional decision? Really, how come you always go 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1.4 acres? Your marketing is backwards. You're fighting human nature. Your Facebook posts, your headline, your headline, the first sentence of a Facebook post, the subject line of your email is crushing 90% of you. I don't even have to look. I know. Because you want to know what you're doing? You're going right to logic and you're shutting people down. See, write this down. And that's why values are important. That's why I went to the field. Your number one objective is to strike a chord of emotion, create psychological and emotional bonds. Strike a chord of emotion and create psychological and emotional bonds. And by the way, in the marketing world, guess how much time you have to get that done? Do you know how much time you have to get that done in an email or social media post? 3 seconds. Write this down. Hook. Hook. And that's why I put this foundation of values, because values is how it feels. If I don't strive to live my life, if I don't strive to do my business on a foundation of how it feels for me and how it feels for you, yeah, listen, I'm a grinder. I will go like there's no tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to make life and business really, really difficult when I can learn to create and build hooks, subject lines, the way I write a social media post that builds psychological and emotional bonds. It's game over. It's game over. That's why Brittany's an order taker. She's sharp, super sharp. She's a sweetheart. Amazing human being. She's been in the business. I know a lot of people have been in the business 19 years and they're broke. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I know a lot of people 19 years in the business and they're having to work. Watch this. They're having to work just as hard today as they did 10 years ago to make the same money. Do you understand how that's a bad equation? See, what your job is up first, you know what? You've got a job. Okay? A job is something that requires you to be there. A business, you think you're in business? No. A business is something that generates revenue for you when you're not there. Who wants that one? Who wants that one? Absolutely. So guess what you end up doing is you're moving from that individual agent, right? Is how are you doing in building your army of soldiers, your past clients that are working for you? Like, how many people have reached out personally to their past clients at least 14 times in the last 12 months? 14 times, okay? Awesome. I just made you some more money right there. Anyone want to be honest with me on why you don't? Come on, someone. No, you feel like a douche because you're calling and asking for a referral, but you're faking it, going, "Hi, how you doing? By the way, send me some people." Let me help you with the first one. You guys go home and do it, okay? What are some of the first things, really, really quickly? What are some of the first things that when people move into a home, okay, whether it's new or whether it is a resale, what's one of the first things they do? They make changes. And so your first call in 90 days, "Hey, it's Jon Cheplak checking in with you." You know, one of the things I find with all my clients is they always make some changes. Tell me about the exciting changes you've made to the home. You've entered in. You showed them you care, okay? I'm going to give to you some more. I mean, that's just a simple call. It's that simple. Meet people where they're at. Is that true that people move in, they start fussing around the place and changing it up? We'll talk about that. Talk about that. Make deposits. I'm going to help you with that, okay? And with the marketing machine that I'm going to give to you, it will take care of prospecting, it will take care of marketing, and it will take care of touching your past clients, sphere of influence, friend, neighbors, and relatives, okay? So, principles, write this down. Principles are law. Principles are my stop sign, they are my green light. Principles are my stop sign, they are my green light. And listen, I don't care, by the way, okay? I'm just speaking to me. I don't care where you're at in your fitness journey or whatever. Here's what I do care about, whatever it may be. I care that tomorrow you're a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's all I care. So when I make this statement about me, I go to The gym. And I'll sit in the gym and I'll not want to work out. Okay? But then there's principles. And you know one of the principles, my 4 core principles, personal responsibility, accountability, commitment, and contribution. Personal responsibility, accountability, commitment, contribution. And I'll break them down for you. So if I'm going to declare those things, I think I'm a fraud if I show up here and talk about personal responsibility, accountability, commitment, and I am not in good shape. That's just my opinion. That's what those do for me. It'd be real easy to get comfortable and say, well, I'm 56 years old. I'm healthy compared to everyone else. Those are the internal conversations that you've got to have. But you want to know what? We don't have those, and we don't keep ourselves from negotiating with ourselves because we don't have the principles, okay? So number 1, here's what I want to give to you. Personal responsibility. This one here is the game changer. And I'm going to do a little therapy with y'all too here. Okay? Personal responsibility. Here's your definition. You can't change what you don't own. I'm going to help you personally. I'm going to help you professionally. The leads suck. Awesome. Let's open up follow-up, boss, and let's see how many times you talked to them. How many times did you reach out to them? Did you say all the right things when you were on the call with them? Have you listened to your recorded call and played it back? Did you use a hook? Did you look for curiosity and urgency? Write it down. Curiosity and urgency when I'm trying to get a response from someone. Or did you send them some encyclopedia text message? They go, what are you doing? Okay? Personal responsibility. Here's the other one that some of you are carrying around. You can walk right out the door and thank me for this one. Okay? And when you work with people in the high-performance business like I do over years, I've had clients with me for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, once-a-week coaching call. You've got to go deep because everything going on privately will show up publicly. And so I'll have people that have challenges. And some of you are in this room, I guarantee you're being held back by an ex or a relationship or something, and you're blaming it on them. They did this to me. Well, I got news for you. Here's how personal responsibility works. You picked them. You got a bad picker, so go work on your picker. What the hell does this have to do with real estate? Everything, because you can't make calls for 1 hour a day. You can't do a video because you're worried what someone thinks, because you haven't unpacked the shit that holds you back. That's how I get people to perform at a high level. Personal responsibility. I want you to go home tonight, and I want you to write down all the bad things that have happened. And that you're, listen, we all got traumas and dramas in our life. Everyone does at varying levels. Until you own them and see them as your history that shapes you, instead of your story you use as a BS excuse, you're going to keep being jealous of people that are doing more than you. You're going to keep being a victim. Does that make sense, you guys? Yes or no? Who's got some shit they got to clean up with themselves? Raise your hand. Oh, nah, see, I got you now. I got you. And you know what? The shitty part about life, you go, I had a client say, well, when am I all fixed? I go, never. My issues have issues. But you want to know what? That's what, you know, we get what we can handle, and then we get better, So personal responsibility. Listen, here's what I want you to do. If you're on a team and you're upset about something or something not going your way, I'm going to tell you it's going to give you freedom. See, we have resistance, right, which is scarcity. And we have freedom, which is abundance. When you're not performing well, guess what? Write this down. Average people wait for accountability. Champions move towards accountability and ask for it. I want you to, whether you are an individual agent, you've got a sales manager, a broker owner manager, or you are a branch manager, or you're a team leader and you have a mentor or a coach or whatever. You want to know what? Do you know when you're not doing what you need to be doing, or do you need to wait for them to tell you? Which one? You know, don't you? I want you to move towards it quickly and start owning things. When you do move towards something, you know, if you're an agent and you're going to go to a leader, and I don't know whether there's team members from other teams here or whatever. I mean, this is here to give you value, period, wherever you're at. Before you go to someone and complain about something, I want you to ask yourself this. Write it down. How did I create it? How did I create it? There's no growth in complaining. There's no growth in blaming. Now, listen, I'm not saying be a doormat. You think I'm a doormat? Nope, but I'm going to tell you something. When I go into any meeting where there is a conflict, when someone's been an ass to me, when someone no one screwed me. I chose. And I'll literally say, please do not look at my not wanting to communicate about it right now by ignoring you. Before I can come into the conversation responsibly, because I don't want to carry it. Some of y'all got a backpack you're carrying, and that sucker's got boulders in it, and you're just like walking around like this. Your ass is kicked. Man, I got a hole in the bottom of that thing. But the only reason I got a hole in the bottom of it so I can charge forward and do what I do is because I walk into that meeting when I know here's how I participated. Because you want to know where I go into the conflict of the meeting where I'm pissed at them? First of all, thank you for taking the time to sit with me. The number one thing I must do is see how I created it. And in going back, I want to let you know this is how I participated, and this is the part of it that I overcame. And you want to know what? See, I'm a solutions-based guy. I'm a solutions-based guy. And you know how to get to the solution is not arguing with someone. And guess what you get to watch? You know what I'm doing? And it's the same listen, when you guys screw up in a real estate transaction or when you're late, time is really honorable to me. If I'm late or I miss something, you know what I'll do? Hey, it's John. Yeah, what happened? I wish I could tell you a really exciting story, but I'm not going to insult you with it. I totally dropped the ball and flaked. You guys, it's the best script on the planet. I dropped the ball. I own it. What can I do to make it right? I coach coaches that work for me. About 18 of them. I coach team leaders that step in shit. Coaches step in shit. What do I do? Oh, it's easy. Just call them up and say, hey, I screwed up. I own it. I wish I had a real exciting story to tell you, to entertain you, but I'm not going to insult you. It is unbelievable what can happen. You guys, your freedom multiplier. I want you to look at everything that's not working right now in your life. And we all got them. And when you fix that one, a new one shows up. You know, I want you to ask yourself, okay, how did I create it? What can I do to change it? Knowing what I know now, what would I do different? Really, really simple. See, winning isn't I'm right and you're wrong. Winning is me discovering what I can do different next time. Because that BS line they tell you about stop looking in the rear view mirror and you need to look in the windshield, it's the biggest, fattest lie on the planet. Looking out in the windshield, yeah, you got to have vision, but you want to notice it's avoidance of the lesson because there's only two things that I can tell you truthfully. There's only two things I can tell you truthfully. Something that happened in the past and something I don't like. And I am going to learn from the thing that happened in the past. That makes sense, you guys? Number one, personal responsibility. If you walk out of here and you want to pick and choose, anyone ever been to the carnival or the fair, the bumper cars? Anyone ever been in those things? Like, until you take personal responsibility for everything, okay, you're going to live a life of a bumper car. And you're going to blame everything outside of you, period. That's the biggest breakthrough you can have. Number two, okay, let's go to commitment. What I want to do, and they're used loosely, and I'm not saying that your leadership is wrong using this word, and I'm not saying you're wrong using the word, but here's what I'll tell you. There's a big difference between commitment and a goal. I want you to write those two words down next to each other. A goal is a good idea. A commitment is defined one way and one way only, by the result. See, I study human behavior. And you know what human behavior is programmed to think? Well, I got close. Here's the problem. I need a true measurement. I don't need the close. I need to go, what did you say you were going to do? What did you do? How do we bridge the gap from what you wanted to do and what you did do? And I work in the gap with no judgment. The reason that we talk about getting close, the reason that we won't do the yes or no, I did it. You ever been there? Well, I got close, but I tried, but this and the dog ate my homework. Because we're afraid to be judged. And if someone's judging you, you have poor leadership. And I'm going to give you a definition of what accountability is that can change the game for you. Because you may be sitting here saying, okay, I'm going to be average. I'm not going to move towards accountability. I'm going to open the gateway for you to move towards accountability. Because most of us have had a bad experience of it, okay? And we have the wrong definition of it. So commitment. Commitment is defined one way and one way only, by the result. You did it or you didn't. It is specific. It is measurable. Listen, I think the two big levers in this room today, there's many levers as I look at my time, and there's many people that spoke before me that are much smarter than me, and I say that humbly in the truth, okay? Personal responsibility and commitment. You nail those two, no one's going to stop you. No one. A commitment, it is specific, it is measurable, it is actionable, it has a deadline. It is specific, it is measurable, it is actionable, it has a deadline. So, my core principle is personal responsibility. Listen, that spirited one of mine that I'm so blessed to have in my life, and mine, ladies, it's not I own her. I say that from so fortunate to have her in my life, man. She is a spitfire, I'm a spitfire, and all the time, I'll have to go, you know what? Here's what I did. Here's what I need to change. We do really, really well in that stuff. Because, listen, no one and no situation is perfect, but we have our perfection in that because you know what? We come back to. And she'll even say to me, well, I heard you were teaching people something on the stage the other day. It doesn't look like you're acting like that. And I'm screwed. Because we can get going and going and going, but we have the core principle that can bring us back. Okay? Raise your hand if you're perfect. Oh, good. Just checking. Personal responsibility, commitment. I do what I say I'm going to do. And when I don't avoid it. Here's the kicker. Accountability. And this is what we avoid. Accountability. Let me give you this definition. Many of you have not heard this, maybe all of you. There's a few. Accountability is the highest form of love you can show a human being. This guy's weird. Let me tell you why that doesn't map to you, because guess what? Raise your hand if you were raised on guilt as a child. Anyone? Okay, where's the Catholics? We were all raised on a level of guilt. We were reminded more of what we didn't do right than when we were of what we did do right. I can remember the one time I didn't make my bed before school in a year. Those got pointed out, not the 364 that I did right, okay? So here's what I want you to think about. I really want you to go inside this, because if I can move you just in these principles alone, if I can move you in this space, you'll have a breakthrough. I don't mean this kumbaya, I walked on water. No, this breakthrough where you run out that door, and the next time that you know you need to do something and you used to not do it, you're just going to do it because you're going to come back to this. See, I want you to think about that go-to person, that voice of reason person. That person, when you ask their advice or their input or their feedback on something, they're going to drill you, and you're not going to get butthurt. Who has that person? Right? None of you all have that. You don't have that person that you just go, hey, listen, I'm going to do this, or I did this. What do you think? And they can just give you feedback, and you're not going to get all upset. If you don't, go find that person. Because you need those types of intimate relationships. That person that you feel safe with. That person that can say to you, hey, listen, I want to give you some feedback. I want to share my observation of it. Really? Tell me more. What else? And not be defensive. Because if you don't have that right now in your personal life, guess what? That could be the breakdown in your leadership life because you haven't seen it take place. What ends up happening is you look at a leader, or you look at a coach, or you look at a broker, owner, manager. Well, that's just a bad guy telling me I'm wrong. No, actually, it's someone that listened to your dreams, hopes, and desires. Here's where I want you to go back to leadership, and here's where I want you to go back to when you're in that space of accountability. I sat here and told them I wanted to have this happen in my life, and I would go to any lengths to make it happen. And all they're doing is they've given me a proven sales process. They've given me the action steps that work and how much I need to do it. And really all they're doing is they're coming back and they're holding their end of the bargain. Write this down. Someone holding you accountable is upholding their end of the bargain. You got to deal with them. See, I want you to embrace that tension. And I want you to step out of having it feel like stress. Because there's this fine line for the leaders in the room. And I hope that there's two ears in here. You've got salespeople, you have some leaders. I want to help you leaders too. See, stress shuts a human being down. 90% of the leaders I start working with, I've got to pull them back and teach them how to hold people accountable because they judge. They don't mean to. They judge because there's certain language patterns you need to do. Like, by the way, when someone doesn't do something, you don't go, why? You've immediately judged them. You've put them on a defense, and you're not allowing the ability to have a self-discover. When someone doesn't do something, and you're holding maybe a peer accountable, or you're a leader, awesome. Knowing what you know now, what could you have done different? What did you learn? How can I best support you? What are you willing to commit to? That's accountability. So know this, that leader that's holding you accountable, they're just upholding their end of the bargain. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay? Personal responsibility, commitment, accountability. Any questions on those three? Push back, because I'm going to tell you something. I was taught these by my mentor in 2000. And I get the privilege of being here today, 22 years later, going strong, loving this, and getting to hopefully impact lives, because I always go back to the same stupid, simple core principles. Nothing new and magical. Let me give you a fourth one. Write this down, then I'll give you the core principle. To keep what you have, you must give it away. To keep what you have, you must give it away. If you have health and wellness in your life, who are you sharing it with and demonstrating it to impact them? If you are a rock star real estate agent in this industry, you know what I want you to think about? I want you to think about, how am I giving back to people? See, remember earlier, what was one of my emerging values? Do you remember that one? Volunteerism. You know, I had a business situation come up. It wasn't bad, but, you know, all the people that approached me and they want to come in because I've got a very, it's an environment that invests a lot in things to grow their business that have substance, and they have to. In the end, we found out there were some things in it. The guy didn't lack integrity, but he was running some other ads to market people to a same program we were going to do together. And which is fine. We didn't ask. We just assumed. And we'd already had it on the calendar. And so here I am. I'm going to promote someone to my audience, right? And if I promote someone to my audience, though, there's a simplicity for them to go over to this other person's product and then to get them down their funnel. Not to go too in-depth. Here's the bottom line. It was a money loser for me, redirect. You know what I asked myself? I didn't have to make a decision. I was talking to my business partner in a different business that I have in the coaching spaces, okay? I says, well, this is a shitty business decision to go down the path and do this thing. Let's just cancel it. I said, but let's go back to, guess what? But let's go back to our values and principles. Contribution. Am I taking away the opportunity to contribute to people by canceling this? It was a yes, and we went forward with it. And I'm going to tell you something. You can call it the kumbaya. You can call it what you want to. But I'm going to tell you something. When I started making the right principle-based decisions, and maybe what was a bad business decision, the money flowed. I'm not saying be stupid, but I'm saying the number one question to go back to, spend some time with yourself. If you, listen, here's what I know, and I'm a lot of work, and for these core principles and these values to impact me and my life, to carry me through as it continues to, steal them, use them. But life gets really, really easy when you go back to, I've got this problem. Okay, what do our principles say? What's my mission say? What are my values? It's real easy. I don't know if I want to call. Okay, I don't want to do lead follow-up. Okay, what are my mission, my principles, and my values? Okay? Contribution, huge. Personal responsibility, accountability, commitment, contribution. I'm going to give you one other piece, and then I'm going to get into, how much time do I got, you guys? 30? What you got? 35. Cool. Yeah. So, they say, if you go to a seminar, if you can grab one or two or three things, okay? Some of you right now could race out the door, and if you take these core principles and you just strive to live by them, you get yours nailed, you're going to win. I want to give you a framework. I'm going to give you one other thing. Let's come back to that. Whoa. Let's come back to that pro athlete thing, okay? I'm going to help you behave like a pro athlete, okay? It's really, really simple. See, my good friend, Heath Evans, he had a guy named Tom Brady, might have heard of him, and the football off to him in practice. I said, how was it playing for the New England Patriots? The most miserable, epic, amazing experience in my life. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, I went and played for the Seahawks, who had 10 times the talent, and it was fun, but miserable. You see the opposite? They would be in practice, and Belichick would be across the field. He said, Thursday at 2 p.m., I knew what part of the practice field my right foot was on every Thursday. It was so boring. See, if you practice really, really, really hard, the game is going to be really, really, really easy. And I'm talking about the game of life, and I'm talking about the game of real estate. Belichick would be on the big old megaphone, and he'd say, Brady, Evans, run it again. You handed the ball off an inch too low. Brady, Evans, run it again. Your right foot was 1 inch too far to the right. Write this down. It's called master the mundane. If you want a sexy life, you better start doing unsexy things and get in relationship with them. If you want a sexy life, you need to get in relationship with the unsexy things. The harder it is, the greater the reward. You've heard the quotes, but I know it. You get to see the pro athletes and all these things they do, and whoa, it's so sexy. It's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Let me give you the framework so you can get paid like a pro athlete. Okay? Or more. This isn't about making millions. This is about running your race. This is about supporting the dreams, hopes, and desires you have in your personal life. Okay? I want to congratulate you. You are taking care of step one. Write it down. This is the formula. And when you get this formula from me, what's going to happen? Oh, there's a clock right there. Cool. I'll be hanging out tonight if you like me. If you don't like me, you can run away too. But I'm not looking for friends either, so it's good. Step one, you're taking it. How many, and listen, a lot of you don't know me. I'm not some famous guy. They said I'm famous, or they say everyone should know me, blah, blah, blah. You're not. No, okay? But here's what I would say. I don't give a shit who's in the room. There was a learning opportunity here, and you took it. Give yourself a hand right now. Big time. And let me share something with you. I don't know, the Briley team is, and there's a lot of great other people. I don't know. Yeah, I'm partial. I'm in business relationship with Adam, and when I work with people closely, Sneak coaches him, but I've spent a lot of time with him. He's a friend. Listen, I don't know. I mean, I think they're selling a lot of houses. I think good artists cheat and great artists copy. I should get my ass in the room and find out what's going on. I mean, that's simple math. Find out what people are doing that are doing more than you and ask them how and what they've gone through. If they're an asshole to you, don't worry, you'll pass them up then, because those people won't keep what they have. Okay? Step 1, training. You're doing it right now. That's on you. And it's on your leader. Let me explain. Now, if you're with an organization where, I just hang my license, okay, well, that's a whole different ballgame. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not here, okay? But let me tell you how the training piece goes. Training piece goes like this. For Kobe Bryant, it was Kobe and Phil Jackson. Kobe had a responsibility to come here and meet in the middle. Phil Jackson had a responsibility to meet right here in the middle. Anyone know Kobe's story, what he did his rookie year? And year after year after year? He'd practice at 3:30 a.m., eat, take a nap. He'd practice again, then he'd go to the team practice. You want to know why? Because at the end of his rookie year, he wanted 3 years of practice in. At the end of year 2, he wanted 6 years of practice in. At the end of year 3, he wanted 9 years of practice in and only 3 years in the NBA. And y'all thought it was because he was talented. That's not it. So, number 1 is training. The leader has a responsibility to deliver it. You have a responsibility to consume it. I got bad news for you. Training is not going to make you productive. Training is just information. Training is just information. Now, here's the big mistake that you make, and I want you to capture this on pro athletes. Do pro athletes go back to spring training every single year? You know what $40 million home run hitters do? $50 million a year home run hitters do? Anyone know where the ball sits on the first day of spring training camp? You know where they hit the ball from? Do they pitch it to them? Where? On a tee. Oh, so what got you here will get you there. Oh, so mastery is going back to the basics and doing it all over again. They start on the tee, and then they move to the ball toss where they're up against a backstop. And then the pitcher will pitch soft overhand halfway. And then they'll start still not pitching fast from the mound. And then they'll get the machine. And they get every year. But you know what? Y'all already did the listing presentation class. You got it nailed. You don't need it. Because you don't skip a step. Y'all got the objection handlers and every step of the way. You got it all dialed in. You did the class once. You're good. And you wonder why you don't get paid like a pro athlete. It's your ego. You know the interesting thing? We see pro athletes and we think we have ego. They are the most humble person. Ready? Write this down. They submit to the mission. Greatness submits to the mission. Period. When Heath went over to the Seattle Seahawks after he won a Super Bowl with Drew Brees at the New Orleans Saints, what he said to me is he said, and this was the year, Seattle went through some years where they won some Super Bowls. And I want you to really capture this, okay? He said of all the 3 teams he played for, okay, he played for Holmgren in Seattle, old Green Bay coach. Any football people here? These names make any familiar to you? Okay. Played for Pete Carroll, Seattle at the Seahawks. Oh, no. He played for Holmgren at the Seahawks. Sean Payton at the Saints. Played for the General Belichick. And it didn't matter how good you were. You don't submit to the mission. Belichick didn't have to get rid of him. The agents do. Did you hear what I just said? See, each and every one of you in the environment that you're in, if you want to perform at a high level, you've got to police it. Because if you're allowing it, and that's not being a narc, that's holding to it. See, that locker room in Seattle was a shit show. It was fun and it was great. Pete Carroll came from USC. He got out of there before all the sanctions hit. You don't have to be a football fan to see the equation I'm putting in, okay? He was having a good old time, and he kept the good old time going in Seattle, and he had some winning seasons. He got some talent in there, okay? He said the talent in that locker room when he was there with Holmgren, though, was 10 times what it was. But he said the discipline and the principles for the New England Patriots was ruthless. I'll share one other piece with you. The New England Patriots, and again, this isn't about football. This is about leadership and principles and choices of people and the environments that you're in and you submitting to the mission and you being willing to be held accountable. Anyone who knows football knows that the Patriots always took the misfits. You want to know why? Do you think, here's what's so cool. Belichick, do you think Belichick, as a head coach for the NFL, one of the greatest NFL coaches, has time to babysit an adult multi-million-dollar earner when he's got all these other people? Do you think he has time for that? Yes or no? No. The culture takes care of that. That's principle. That is principle. That's why I want you to see. See, if you look at this amazing story and other pro athletes too, you look at that stuff, it's principles. So let me recap. You got to be clear on a mission. You got to have values: fun, love, dignity, respect, humility, vulnerability, transparency, and volunteerism. Are all those in place? And then your core principles. I like to keep it at 3 or 4. Personal responsibility, commitment, accountability, contribution. If you want something, go give something to someone else. I remember when I got out of rehab for the 9th time in 20 years, I couldn't beat the demon. And the last time, that last week, I was in and out of the emergency room because I had this thing, and you can Google it. You can't die from heroin withdrawals and all other types of withdrawals of drugs and things. And the reason I can talk to it, I didn't do heroin. I don't have judgment for people who have done heroin. But just to illustrate how serious it was, I had alcohol withdrawals. They're called DTs. You can die. I'd go in and out of the emergency room. Okay? 3 times. And guess where I'd go after I left the emergency room? Who wants to guess? Have a drink on me. I was insane. Okay? But here's the piece that I want you to know. Okay? I went in, and that final time, and here's the one thing I want you to know with making commitments. I graduated from all the other ones. The 6-month, the 1 year, the pretty place, the ugly place, the go a bajillion times. But see, here's the thing. Don't quit trying to quit something you need to quit. Don't ever quit trying to quit something you need to quit. Maybe you need to quit avoiding the phone. Maybe you need to quit avoiding video. Maybe you need to quit toxic relationships. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Whatever it may be. And you may have some big... Here's what I know when a group of people in this room, there's some people that are sitting in some shit. It's okay, man. It's all right. And there's some people that, they got some minimal things. But it doesn't matter what level that you're going through. My point being is this, is you've got to humble yourself. Humble people win every single time. Humble people win every single time. And how do you know? You know, we look at ego as this person that, looks good, sounds good, outgoing. Some of you I may rub you wrong. It may come across as ego. It's okay. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, right? I hear that. That's none of my business, though, because my business is the work I have to do. That's what I want you to write down. What others think of me is none of my business as long as I'm doing the work of growth. Other people's opinion of me is none of my business as long as I'm doing that work of personal growth, personal development. I'm taking you right back to where I started when I said life is a personal development plan that is attached to a get paid program. That's it. That's what it is. Still tracking with you guys? Good. All right, I think we're ready to rock and roll into this. Woo, 24. Okay. Here's what I'm going to give to you. I'm going to break it down. It's really simple. Listen, I'm not going to say your life is going to end and you're not going to sell real estate if you don't do video, but I'm going to tell you something. You're going to make it really, really hard on yourself, okay? And I'm going to give you a little exercise to do. I want y'all to close your eyes just for a minute, okay? And I want you to think of that significant other. I want to think of your parents who you've told them for years, that you're going to do something really special. I want you to think of the promises we make in life. There'll be some men in here that, you know what, I really want to be a man in my family, and I've not been a man in my family, and I've got to make this thing work, okay? Whatever it may be, man, women, it doesn't matter, but I want you to think of that person, okay? And I want you to think of a promise that you feel, that you've expressed, that you've demonstrated, okay? And I want you to think of going to them and looking them in the eye because you didn't take an action you were afraid of and saying, I'm sorry, it won't happen because I'm a coward. Don't be a coward. Skills will not get in the way. That true love, commitment, and connection to whatever it is that's important to you, like it's not clear if you don't do it. You guys, don't be a coward. Hold that. I will not go, and it's the stalest joke, but it's very, very real. Okay, come back with me here, y'all. My daughter's 30 years old, nearly 30 heart surgeries, a miracle. And so someone that goes through that and then has my DNA, can you imagine her personality? Who's the boss there? Whew. Like, I'm driving down the street. Poor Briley team had to hear this morning, and she looks over at me, and I didn't have a hat on. I wear a hat, quite frankly. I'll just be very transparent with you. I'm very much an introvert. If you see me in public, I got a hat and sunglasses on. It keeps me safe. I need therapy for that, but I'm not going to go to therapy. It's truth. Okay? It's pretty typical, though, for people to do what I do. But watch this, so. That's why I wear a hat. Could you imagine? She looks over at me. She goes, dude. I said, what? You need Botox. I do need Botox. I could use some hair plugs, too. You see that? Right? Do you think that the ability for me to, when she comes to me one day, I want you, see, this will move you or it won't. If you can connect to this, it will move everything. Okay? Do you think I was going to let Botox and what people might think about me, okay? And people even knowing my story of alcoholism. See, most people that get sober, they don't have a good story. Sorry. There's past. Do you think I was going to let that get in the way of the one morning she would come to me and say, I'm pregnant, and we had sat in doctor's offices where they said, if you get pregnant, you will die, and I could look her in the eye and say, no problem, we're going to the Mayo Clinic. There's no coverage there, Dad, no problem, because I wasn't a fucking coward. That's why. Because I didn't worry about doing that video. I didn't worry if it was edited perfect. I didn't worry if people trolled me because the mission was greater. Are you guys with me on that? See, you've got to are you going to let something like that, this is how serious it is. Are you going to let something like someone's opinion get in the way of your ability to go, hey, no problem. They told us you're going to die. I got it covered. We're going to the Mayo Clinic. Great. They said, here's your chances. Perfect. Here's where you go. And sit there and take the time off work. No problem. I don't have to because I could be there. Like your consistency and inconsistency, your inconsistency is creating stress in your life. And if something happens, here's what I want you to get. In this marketplace, listen, buckle up. But when I say buckle up, go for it. Because your opportunity, human nature, and it's unfortunate, you know what most humans will do in this marketplace we're in? Freeze. They will freeze. Now, by the way, raise your hand if you think people are still going to buy or sell real estate tomorrow. Okay, good. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, here's your marketing plan. You're going to say, this guy is an asshole. Interest rates just went to 20%. Did you hear the news? If you knocked 100 doors today and called 100 people today, and you knocked 100 doors tomorrow, and you called 100 people tomorrow, and you did it again over and over and over again, what would your income look like? You guys, you do not have a market condition. You have an activity and consistency condition. Period. 100%. You can't beat the committed. You cannot beat the committed. But the committed will smoke the talent. Like all your talent. Here's what I want to let you guys know too. Okay, ready? Here's the bad news for 80% of you in this room. Because is it fair to say 80% of you got in the business the last 3 years? Yes or no? Hell yeah. Man, you don't know how to sell real estate. You know how to take orders. How do you service a listing? How do you retain that listing? How do you get an expired listing? How do you market to a FSBO? Like, listen, you're in for it, but it's good. It's really, really good because those that are here that want to get trained, right? Okay? You did your training. Okay? You took action, then you were held accountable. It's your 5 steps of productivity. It's how you get paid like a pro athlete. You did your training. You took action. That's on you. But then you were willing to come back in step 3. And I want you to think of that pro athlete. I want you to think about you and your business. Okay? This is the framework. It's held accountable. Training camp, play the game, that's action. What's accountability after the game? What is it? Game film. But y'all won't listen to a recorded call. Oh, God, don't do that to me. Shame on you. You are publicly shaming me. That's fine. Those heart surgeries for my daughter must not matter. Those promises that you make must not matter. And by the way, guess who was ridiculed the most in front of 52 of the best athletes on Monday in the film room for the New England Patriots? Any guesses? You want to guess? Brady. Well, Brady, looks like you and Giselle are really focused on your GQ cover. Is that why you threw 3 interceptions? Roasted him. It was a game, okay? That's accountability. See, but watch this. If you're not willing to be held accountable, the most critical step is missing in becoming a pro. Skill building. See, training is 2-part. Training is the front side. It's the information you need to act. The training will take place in your action. Based on the action and a body of work that is enough to measure, there's a science that can let us know either A, you're not doing enough activity, or B, you did enough activity, but here's the skill we need to work on. So guess what Brady does after watching film on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? What's he do? He practices the skills where he didn't perform at the highest level. How much of that are you doing? Well, I'm just trying to get more people to like me, and they might pick me. I know I'm a dick sometimes. But really, I mean, you get the point, though? Like, master your craft. And hold that. If I want to get paid like a pro athlete, okay? If I want to get paid like a pro athlete. So here they are. Number one, I want you tonight, I want you to go home. I want you to look at your business. Training. See, because here's step 5. You build the skills. Build the skills. Guess what? Master the mundane. Recommit and do it all over again. Again and again and again and again. We have a life beyond my wildest of dreams. I had a bicycle. I had big jobs. It was great. And so now we're having conversations. Know some of the same people, the OGs, and had a great life. And then I unwound it with my alcoholism and all those type of things. And today I look at it and just go, whoa. And it's not about things, but the things I'm able to do. But Brittany's mom laughs at me. She said, because, I mean, she knows that we do well, okay? And she says, so you just get up in the morning, and she's this beautiful Southern woman that she's just amazing, just a great, great spirit. Love her to death. So you just get up in the morning, you dress up, and you walk across that living room, you go in that black hole, and you just sit there for hours and make calls. I said, every day. And that's how you make all that money. Every day. Doesn't it get boring? Sure, it can get boring. Of course it does. But you know what? The picture is bigger. And the bigger picture is I get to serve people. So you know what? Here's the thing. If real estate's getting boring, you don't like it, you don't give a shit about people. You know what? Serve people. Because it can get boring. Master that mundane. Training, action, accountability, build your skills, be willing to be coached, and recommit. Let me give you the secret weapon. This is my client that has gone from, and it's so quick and so easy. See, you need 90%. That's where I spent my time. I actually spent 99% on the stuff that you need to have here and here. So you go out and do it. Because right now, let me ask some of you this, just from what I've talked to you right now. Do you need more training right now, or do you have the training in place? If you take this mindset stuff back, you can win. Who can go back and win right now with these basic core pieces I gave? Only 4 of you? Well, I suck. At least I think we took, I already got paid, didn't I? Good. Whew. I always collect the money the day before. I mean, because you never know, I could fuck the shit up, Not perfect. So, here's what you need to do. You guys, really, really simple. I want you to create one piece of content a Saturday or Sunday, okay? I'm going to show you how to do it. Ready? Goes like this, okay? This is my production company, and it goes like this. What happened in the Omaha marketplace last month, and what are we going to see in the holidays? Hey, it's Jon Cheplak with ABC Real Estate. In this video, I want to talk to you about 2 or 3 critical things that have taken place in the marketplace over the last month. And at the end of the video, did you catch that? Why did I do that? The end of the video, and did you notice I didn't do this? Ready? You guys really, I'm going to help you out here. Ready? So, okay, what happened in the Omaha marketplace, blah, 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 right? Did you catch that? You guys with me? Okay, let me show you what you do. Hey, Facebook. You are a dork. I got a better one, though, you do. Where's Sanit? I love picking on him. What's the other one you guys do? Adam, I tease Adam. He did it. We were at dinner or something the other night. He says, I did it because Adam's, here's what's great. Here's this kid that's got this big business. I need to get better at getting video out there. I need to start doing it. I said, I saw the soccer one out there, man. You're stepping up, dude. He goes, yeah, but I screwed up. I go, really? What'd you do? He goes, happy Saturday. What the fuck are you doing? Here's the beauty. He's doing it. Okay? Average price last month versus the same month last year was up about 10%. We've seen a decline. And then days on market, we're seeing an increase in inventory went to this. The holiday seasons, it's been a kind of an unpredictable time. Can't guarantee what's going to happen. I always want to keep you up to speed. And if you have any questions, let me know. Real fancy, bumbled through it, okay? How many of your competitors are doing that? You know how I won in business and life? I just did what you wouldn't do. Ta-da. You know what y'all do? You see one of you do something, and it's like a barrel of monkeys, and y'all jump in. Oh, it's safe. We can all look dumb together. Instead of going, I'm going this way. Oh, you're going that way? I'm going this way. Does that make sense, you guys? So you do the one video, market snapshot, once a month, period. You have to. Talk about 2 or 3 things that have happened. And fumble and bumble and screw up and wipe your face and all that stuff. Because that's called authentic. I sit in rooms with guys that spend $100,000 a day on video ads on Facebook, and they test it. They tested the high production video versus, have you guys noticed that all these, have you seen all the internet marketer guys, the get rich guys, a lot of them do selfie? You see they do a lot more selfie stuff? Have you seen it, yes or no? Yeah. And you see the ad keep coming through, yes or no? Well, they're not going to spend money on something that don't work. 10 times higher performance of a low production video over high production. So that BS line, so where's your video? Well, I'm waiting on my videographer. Cool. Hey, didn't see your video. Oh, my videographer had to reschedule. What the Come on. Okay, Britt, I don't know if did Britt tell you guys about Big View, BIGVU? Okay, Big View, it's a teleprompter you put on there. You can just put all your stuff on there. You guys walk and talk and do it. So number 1, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do a market snapshot video once a month. Okay, number 2, I want you to do a local business. Walk into the pizza joint. What's your favorite place? Hey, what is your favorite place to have pizza? You don't even walk in there. It's Jon Cheplak. Oh, this guy sounds cheesy. Well, do you think that I get paid the big bucks to tell you cheesy shit, or do you think I get paid a lot to tell you what works? Okay? Your favorite Italian restaurant. My favorite place to get ice cream. The consumer is so tired of your douchey, cheesy, hey, do you want to buy some real estate? It's human connection. Enter into their lives where they're living daily. See, here's the thing. There's called the 95-5 marketing rule, okay? 5% of all human beings in this town today are in the consideration phase. What does the consideration phase mean in marketing? It means that you having a conversation with them about real estate is relevant. They might be interested. The 95% are indifferent. Meaning that if you keep having a real estate conversation with them over and over and over and over again, they're going to move from indifferent to what? Annoyed. Oh, they already are. Check the Consumer Reports on how they rank us. Get it? See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet people where they're at. Okay? My client that I was talking to you guys about that's had this amazing trajectory. She doesn't buy Zillow leads. She doesn't buy Realtor.com leads. They're good. I'm not saying they're bad. She is able to, following this, ready? She's been with me 3 years. So how many weeks are in a year? How many? 52. Times 3 is what? 156. How many videos do you think she's done? 156. Do you think they're magical? No. But they go on her Facebook, her Instagram, her YouTube, and they're emailed out. They're emailed out. Number 1 is the market snapshot. Number 2 is a local business. A local business. And it can be selfie mode. And ready? Watch this little trick. Go into the local business and say, hey, I want to highlight your business. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it on my Facebook business page. And then what you can do is you can share it on yours too. Want to? I want people to market for me. Okay? So that's the local business. Number 3, or you can do a local park, something like that. Number 3, this one is the Dragon Slayer they love. It's community events. If you got a resource that can give you the top 3 community events for Omaha for the month, or if there's little pockets in Omaha that you're really focusing in on, the number 1 can't miss community event in Omaha this month. And the whole copy is all about it. See, do they know you're a real estate agent, yes or no? Try it again. Yes or no? Of course they do. So why not let me be even douchier and have everything say, hey, do you want to know how to get your house ready to sell? Hey, it's springtime, clean those covers, because when you're ready to sell, it's like, go away. Go away. So watch the math that I'm doing here, okay? It's community events, right? It's a market snapshot that's informational. It's not to sell them. I'm making a deposit. I'm educating and informing. I'm building celebrity authority with them. Okay? Local business. I'm connected to the business, local community. Now, the fourth one, you can do a thought leader. If you follow Brittany, you go to Brittany Pino and Associates, go down her videos, and she did one. It's really great. I'll give you some great ideas she'll do. She was out back. She walked up to a property, had a walkthrough. There's 3 reasons why you should do a walkthrough before you close a transaction. Hey, it's Brittany Pino with Brittany Pino and Associates, and I'm here over at this beautiful home. Now, you can see that the grass is about knee high, and so one of the things that sellers need to do is they need to deliver the home at closing at the condition when the people made the buying decision. Now, there's another piece I like to do too, is it's important to get an inspection. So when we did the inspection, the air conditioning, I'm just having a conversation right now, you guys. I don't have a damn script going on. Stop worrying about what you're going to say and just talk to people what actually freaking happened. That's the best script in the planet. Just be you. You know the biggest problem you're having with what to say is you're trying to not be you. You ever think about that? You know what I get paid a lot of money to do? Be me. Think about it. I do. Because I'm not worried. I mean, I care about people, but I'm not going to worry about it, okay? So we did an inspection, and the air conditioning unit wasn't working, and we got a sign-off by the air conditioning company, but it was important. We came back and tested it. It's not working. So, always make sure that you have your agent do a walkthrough and check back on those items. Stay tuned. I'll be giving you more updates of things that you'll find really helpful if you buy or sell in the future. Thanks so much. So that's called thought leader. Thought leader. Okay? I'm going to tell you what start taking place with my clients that commit to this. But here's the problem, you guys. Question everything I've told you. Question all of it. And you know what I want you to go? Everything you said is bullshit, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to question it. Test it for 6 months. Question everything you're told by someone that, you know what, okay, there's some association there, some credibility there. It makes sense. Question it by testing it. Question it by testing it. There is no one in this room that can't leave here and do exactly that program. You post it on your Facebook, you post it on your Instagram, you post it on your YouTube, you email it to your database, and then you start watching and tracking the open rates of the emails. And you know what I'm tracking on the open rates? What subject line is grabbing their eye? And then guess what I do? I start dialing my message in. I look at the colors of the clothes I'm wearing in the video. I look at the background of where I'm at. I look at all those different things, and now I start honing in. You know, in the elections, they only ran 4 ads on Facebook with 680 variations of all 4 ads. Like colors, lighting. And out of those 680, we're talking about almost 2,700 ads, they found 8. And it was for an election that won. Here's the beauty. 50% of the marketing you do will not work. 50% will. The bad news is you don't know till you try it. But you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. I'm not telling y'all to go spend a bunch of money. I'm talking about this is a human resource play. And if you've got some money to put towards it, put some financial resource. But I just demonstrated you a human resource play. A human resource play. I mean, I'll give you a great example in comparison. I didn't start paying for any ads. I had no marketing spend up until about 120 days ago at all. No marketing budget. Zero. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and email. And if you go look, I don't have a ton of followers. I got about 12,000 followers. I got the right followers, baby. And what I do is high ticket. I just did an event where we put 160 people in a room at $2,600. $2,600 for an event for the real estate industry is pretty high ticket if you look at the real estate industry. I've been able to build it doing exactly what I shared with you to do. Well, how is that the same? It's exactly the same. Watch this, you guys. It's principle. The principles are universal. Write this down. Make deposits in the business relationship equity account. Make deposits in the business relationship equity account. For years, I've had people show up in rooms, and you know what they said to me? You've been coaching me for 3 years, and you didn't even know it. You've been coaching me for 3 years, and you didn't even know it. Now I'm just going to pay you. And I never saw him engage in anything. See, but the thing is you got to stay in the game. The only reason you're not getting the business you want, the responses you want from the people that you're talking to is this: the business relationship equity account is overdrawn. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm calling the leads. They don't talk to me. Well, when's the last time you made a deposit? Here's what you're doing. You're going to an ATM machine with a debit card trying to make a withdrawal, and there's no money in the bank. You're asking for the most valuable thing on the planet, my time. You want my time. And so let me tell you and take you down to the basics here so you know. It's called the law of fair exchange. It's the law of reciprocity. The more that I give to you, the more you feel obligated to respond to me, or the more you see me and consume my content, the more trust I get, because I'm going to leave you with this. Your biggest problem isn't selling people. Your biggest issue is lowering their guard. Let me say it again. Your biggest issue isn't selling people. Your biggest issue every day is asking yourself, how can I lower their guard? 90% of the conversations that you're having with clients, potential clients, leads, prospecting, it doesn't matter how good your script or dialogue may be, because you want to know what? You haven't lowered their guard. And I'll leave you with this. The number one way to lower someone's guard is to educate and inform. Educate and inform. Do it consistently. And here's the final piece, though. And this is going to be really, really tough. Stop being transactional and be obsessed with being relational. Stop being transactional and obsess with being relational. I have fun. Hope you guys did too. I'll be hanging out. Thank you so much. Peace.